So it is always great to be back at the Brickyard on this crossover NASCAR IndyCar weekend, the first of 3 big races this weekend. This is the Gallagher Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Felix Rosenqvist of Arrow McLaren SP on the left-hand side of your screen, starting from the pole with Alexander Rossi. Let's go racing at the Brickyard.
Picture perfect start, 2 wide all the way down, but now 4 wide into turn 1. Who's that? McLaughlin. Newgarden setting it up the inside.
And Lundgaard in that red and white car on the inside. He's come from 6th to 4th in the spinner. Pato Award, one of the championship contenders.
Marcus Ericsson getting through there. Sounds like he may have stalled the car.
I got hit and I stalled.
Sounds like he got hit from behind and he stalled. They're still going 2 by through the chicane. Tough to get through there, Dale.
Yeah, very tricky part of the racetrack. Down into 7 here. So some bumps in that braking zone can get you in trouble.
Will Power on the inside of David Malukas, the promising young rookie. Callum Eilert and Takuma Sato going wheel to wheel. So too is Romain Grosjean and Scott Dixon in that orange and blue car. Grosjean on the inside for this turn. He was extremely frustrated after qualifying. Could not get the car to work. Equally so Dixon.
Callum Eilert on the inside of Takuma Sato there. We saw an incident in the May race here. Scott Dixon looks down the inside. Callum on the outside of turn 12. That rarely works. Can he pull it off in 13?
Meanwhile, I'm watching that red and white car championship leader. Ericsson has only made up 2 spots.
3.
As they run right now, Ericsson is now 12 points behind in the championship, running in 2nd on that opening lap by virtue of starting at the back.
Colton Herter on the inside of Christian Lundgaard Jr. Here's the replay. Watch the second orange car, Pato Award. Who hits him? Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Looks like Will Power there, a little contact.
Looks like Colton Herta got into the side of Will Power. Will lucky to miss the spinning 5 car. Colton into Will.
I will say that Power didn't hit Award as much as it was just squeezing 3 into 2 here. Oh, Power got hit on the inside.
Yeah, Colton hit Power.
Left
Look
front.
at that move. Just missed him.
Onto the grass, looks like Takuma Sato. Look at Joseph Newgarden up the inside, guys. What a bomb on the inside. Incredible from Joseph. Pato leaving lots of room there, but that's a 3-car situation. When he thinks it's only 2 wide, nothing he can really do there.
And those are important views for race control to see, to realize that that was just a racing incident as Romain Grosjean in that yellow and red car continuing to be aggressive. And here comes Ericsson, Diff.
Right on cue, T-Bell, as you say that, the message comes up. Incident involving multiple cars under review by the stewards of this Gallagher Grand Prix. We'll come back to you with more on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Dale. That's a racing incident to me. If they're laying blame on someone there, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, a lot of guys going for the same piece of real estate there. Just hard racing. You got to expect that first turn, first lap.
And race control's going to have to watch this action live, which is a lot of defensive swerving down the front straightaway.
So most of the teams are running their primaries first as Dalton Kellogg goes around in 7.
Junior, what do you make of the opening laps of an IndyCar race? It's pretty frantic.
This track, though, is unique to me. Watching these guys in practice, the cars are moving around a lot of rear grip issues. They've been fighting loose.
And the first caution of the day flies.
Kellogg kept it running, then dumped the clutch, spun it around, and then it stalled. And that's a recipe for disaster with a tall first. Hot tires and lots of grip as you see this side-by-side action. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Castro Neves, I think that was, on the outside of Will Power, gets into Malukas. This was brave from Elio.
The old Penske teammates arm wrestling in turn 7.
That's what race control needs to be looking at.
Yeah, I'm not going to call that brave. I'm going to call that complete loss of control going into the corner, just misjudging your braking. Then here's Dalton Kellett on the inside of Jimmy Johnson, got up on the curb and then into the side of the 48. And unfortunately just tipped the 4 around.
And we talked about how good Will Power was in qualifying. He's lost 12 spots since the start of the race. You have to wonder if all this contact is affecting the way that car is driving.
We are ready to go back racing. That was a good, quick caution. Ready to go. And here we go.
And there you see push to pass seconds remaining. It's been Colton Herta, the 3rd place car. That black and yellow Gainbridge car has been on the button a lot so far, almost 25% of his total usage. They get 200 seconds for the races. Rossi goes to the inside.
And blows it. Runs a little wide, Alexander Rossi. And here on the outside comes his teammate Colton Herta, up to 2nd.
It's a great gain from Colton Herta. He's +7 on the day already. This was your winner back in May in mixed conditions. Qualified 14th and still pulled it off. And he is on a big attack today up to P2.
Hey, speaking about positional changes, word from race control, Joseph Newgarden needs to give up 2 positions for a track limits violation.
the theory in the paddock is that the alternate tires are going to be the better tires. I spoke to Colton Herta before the race, and he said, yeah, our plan is run those primaries as long as we possibly can, because at least one of those sets of alternates is a used set. They're not going to be as good, so Colton doing a great job extending this session on his primaries as more cars come into pit lane, Kevin Lee.
By the way, Joseph Newgarden, I'm not sure if we mentioned this or not, but he gave up those 2 spots under the caution. He had moved up to third, falls back to 5th. He comes in right now. He's putting on a scuffed set of alternates. Connor Daly has got sticker reds right behind him. Connor running 6th, and he's slow getting out, and there's a problem. There's a problem. They've got to push him back. I can't see the outside, but is there a problem on the left rear? Connor Daly was running 6th on his way to look like a great opportunity today, but he's going to lose all kinds of track position and fall to the back.
Let's show you the difference on pit lane, Junior. Look who did what. It was very promising for Colton Herta, and that's powered by NTT. Here he is in the Carvana Honda. What's your assessment of your old mate?
Well, we were all, wondering when it was going to click and when things might start to make sense and the pace might start to come up, and it was tough to watch him struggle and be frustrated, but he doesn't quit, doesn't give up, and works really hard at what he does. So I admire his persistence and how he's stuck with it, and to include the ovals this year, and then to go out there and finally be able to perform like he did in Iowa. I think everybody was so proud and happy.
And Pato O'Ward has another incident. Remember, he got turned at the first lap from Will Power. There was contact between Herta to Power, and it was then transferred over to Pato O'Ward. What happened to the Mexican driver? Let's have a look.
Just misses the braking zone of turn 1.
Smoke in the rears in the braking zone of turn 1. Usually you'll see the car slip and slide a little bit. When it flat locks up like that,
and you can hear it, Towns, on the onboard. The engine just dies. He flat sticks the motor there. You very rarely see full tire smoke coming off the back of these things.
It's IndyCar and NASCAR at the Brickyard this weekend, and the leader is in. Scott McLaughlin stayed out long. This is going to be his primary run. This is the less preferred tire. It's more durable, but not nearly as fast. McLaughlin is back out, but that was a strong stint.
Marcus Ericsson, championship leader, had an engine issue yesterday.
Check out McLaughlin coming off the pit lane here, Diff, with
good.
Joseph Newgarden coming on hot tires. By the time they get to the back straightaway, that could be reasonably close, but on a hot day, those reds should come in pretty quick. But McLaughlin making that work by starting on the softer red, leapfrogs a bunch of cars.
He's definitely got some track position, but now he's got to survive this stint on the primary.
Pato O'Ward and another driver came in on lap 4. So now we cycle back to what is the real running order, with Colton Herta at the top, Alexander Rossi second, Rahal Letterman-Lanigan's Christian Lundgaard third, and then Scott McLaughlin, who is off strategy from that top trio. He runs 4th at the moment.
Doesn't matter where he parks it. That's going yellow. We see everybody lining up in pit lane. This kind of saves Scott McLaughlin.
This is the situation where IndyCar could determine that Pagano's in a safe spot, give everybody come to pit lane, as the battle with Newgarden and McLaughlin has led to Newgarden getting by. But I think you'll see everybody come here because IndyCar's leaving the pits open.
Oh, they are. They're diving fast. VK, Rosenquist, Rahal, DeFrancesco, Dixon, Harvey, and more.
But the top 5 were all past pit in. They didn't get to benefit. Dylan.
Taking a look here at a couple of the race cars. We got Rosenquist and VK in, Kevin. Guys, did Colton Herta get the call? Did he come in?
No, remember Mid-Ohio. They missed getting Colton Herta in. Rossi's in, though. Now Colton Herta's come. So I think they missed a chance the first time. IndyCar leaving things open until everybody's had a chance, and there goes the caution.
But this goes to the benefit like we saw at Mid-Ohio. I disagree with how they're doing this. Now, these guys do not have to do an outlap where so many others did. I guess all the cars that just came out, they didn't really do an outlap.
There's not a perfect solution, but I just agree. This is the most fair that it can be, because if you throw the yellow and somebody was able to duck in, it's totally unfair.
Wow, that was close between Rossi and Newgarden. McLaughlin's in as well.
Watch the Team Penske battle. We saw this at Iowa under caution. Who gets it? McLaughlin's out first. Newgarden loses it to McLaughlin. Now they're both on reds.
As they'll be nicely bunched together under this caution. It's the second caution of the Gallagher Grand Prix. This one for Simon Pagano. Ran out of fuel in the Sirius XM Auto Nation Honda. Ready to go again, and we're going to see some big moves. Watch the third car. Is Christian Lundgaard going to spring a surprise on Alexander Rossi?
The rookie Lundgaard is having his best IndyCar day of his career as the green flag is out. Dust is flying, and Colton Herta with a monster jump on his teammate Rossi.
And Alexander Rossi missed the turn 13 apex a little bit. That gives a sniff to Christian Lundgaard, but further back, Pato O'Ward looking at Joseph Newgarden, who's looking at Scott McLaughlin down into turn 1.
That's good defensive driving. Takuma Sato is in the mix in 9th, the two-time Indy 500 winner. Look at this scrap. There's championship leader, or the championship leader for the last 5 rounds. That's Marcus Ericsson in the Husky Chocolate Honda. He's in damage control mode. We'll see what happens to the Husky Chocolate driver. Drama's here for Colton Herta. What's happened to the Gamebridge Honda?
Oh, no.
The race leader.
We saw that bodywork damage from the contact with Will Power on lap 1.
Can you keep going? Can you keep going?
It's over and out.
Engine is running, but it doesn't sound like it's in gear. Understand
Try to
that
get the pit lane if you can.
doesn't sound like he can get it in gear. Maybe it's clutch issues we're
I
hearing.
don't think I can.
Oh, no. That is a horrible position.
IndyCar might have to throw the yellow here as he sits on pit lane, although the officials should be able to push him out of the way now.
We've got the prospect of a couple of really interesting things happening. Big hit there.
He did hit the curb awfully hard.
He sure did. I wonder, that seemed very timely. If you listen on that replay, as soon as he strikes the curb, immediately it sounds like you lose drive.
There's a whole bunch of sensitive electronics that control the clutch and the gearbox. This is like your laptop computer falling off the desk. Listen here.
Oh, that was a big smack.
There's no way that's not related. I mean, it might not be just that one hit. It could be repeated hits over the last 43 laps.
Word from race control further down in the field. Elio Castro Neves is being sent to the back of the field for avoidable contact with AJ Foyt Racing's Kyle Kirkwood.
Not the first time that Castro Neves has been under review today, but let's take a look at a little more hate going on through the field. This is Connor Daly going to the outside of turn 12, making the long way around. This looks a lot like Grosjean and Rossi at Mid-Ohio. DeFrancesco on the inside, doesn't leave Connor any room, and that led to some pretty fiery radio from the Irish-American. Let's listen.
Devlin needs to be kicked out of this racing series. He's an idiot. Lock them up. Keep going.
Yeah, being mad about it doesn't help you catch him. You just got to focus. What happens, happen. Eyes forward. He did manage to get around him. Devlin struggling on those primary tires. Connor on the red alternates. But yeah, this tough situation getting forced off the racetrack like that. But I mean, wheel-to-wheel racing.
I didn't see anything wrong. I mean, it might not have been respectful, it might not have been gentlemanly, but who promised you that in IndyCar?
And at the same time, you know, Devlin was in one of those tough spots as one of only 3 drivers on the grid that had the primaries on that restart. It's the last thing you want to see when you're on those primaries. See some action on track. Rookie David Malukas on the outside of Jack Harvey into turn 1. That's a tough one to make work, and Jack hits the elbows out and holds that position.
That's the battle for 17th right now.
Just going back to that pit stop sequence, Alexander Rossi, we saw a little bit of a holdup on the right rear. They were talking about problems in pit lane, but they managed to have, even though it was a slower stop, it was a 9.2 second stop. We've been seeing 6s and 7s. Christian Lundgaard's stop was only an 8.1, so a second loss. There was a 4-second gap between the two coming in, down to 2.5 seconds. So it's getting close.
This battle with Harvey Malukas and Connor Daly now in the fold, starting to get pretty aggressive as Harvey sort of muscled Malukas over there on the turn-in for turn 7. Castro Neves pits from 3rd, so that'll make Rossi the leader again. Lundgaard 2nd, and then Team Penske 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I had a hunch we might see more action out of this guy today. DeFrancesco off in the grass. Not sure what happened.
Lost a couple spots. I believe was running 17th at the time, maybe 18th. Let's try to take a look back. Here he is, Jack Harvey right in front. Does he make a move? Yes, he does. Jack Harvey on the primaries, and Devlin just looks like sends him with too much speed, locks up the inside front, and then John Deere's it across the grass.
Yeah, look to the left, look to the left. Woo, that's a rookie braking very deep, but as you boys told us earlier in the weekend, in practice and qualifying, turn 7 really invites you to do that, to go in deep, especially when you're in a battle. And crossing the line this time. 13 laps to go for Alexander Rossi, and a much-needed win is not that far away. And he's going to get his best ever result on this Indy road course.
And guys, look, even though Alexander Rossi's leaving this organization at the end of the year after a long tenure running in the 27 car, he wants nothing more than to end on a high note. He loves everyone in this race team. He wants to go out with some strong results. Brian Barnhart, you see his strategist there, just controlling things. His father and manager Peter Rossi there just behind Brian.
Not exactly cruising to victory. Rossi with quite a snap there coming on to turn 14.
That's fine. And the gap's gone from 3.5 seconds down to 2.3, back out to over 4.
What's going on there in the left rear?
All right, that I don't like. I thought you meant the
body
little
drag, or is that a brake issue? Is that the vibration Rossi was talking about 10, 15 laps ago?
The vibration I thought was coming off the front, though. That's a weird place. I mean, I don't see any bodywork out of position. You know, there's some oils and greases used to help.
Let's watch it again into turn 12. That's where we saw it last time. Let's watch it this time.
See if we can watch it in slow-mo here.
It's a lot of load on the car as you come up onto the banking there through turn 11. It's just a flat-out fifth-gear arc. It's not really a corner, but a lot of load in the car.
Is that a wheel bearing going bad?
I was just going to say, there's grease back there, the bearings, the drive shafts. Maybe one of the boots and the drive shafts could be leaking some grease, but either way, that's not a cause for concern.
One more lap for his first IndyCar podium. His previous best finish, 8th at Toronto. He's finished 9th here before, but this is a huge improvement for a career best for a young driver out of Europe who came here with so much potential and is half a lap from realizing it.
And it's been trending the right way for Lundgaard, because 3 top 10s in the last 5 races for the Danish driver. But it's an all-stars and stripes affair up front in this Napa Auto Parts Auto Nation Honda for Alexander Rossi.
And let me just tell you, if you are thinking of sending Alexander Rossi a congratulatory text message if he brings this home,
he won't respond.
Don't bother doing it. He will not open it. He will not read it. He will not respond.
Alexander Rossi is driving his way to victory lane. He will become the 8th different winner this year with still 4 races to go. Remember, Nashville next weekend. Cannot wait for that. But let's celebrate this moment, because one of the sports frontrunners has had lean times over the past 3 years. Not anymore. Alexander Rossi ends a 3-year drought and is an IndyCar race winner again. The first time at the Brickyard on the road course. He's won on the big track at the big race. The Indianapolis 500. Rossi is now a winner on the Brickyard road course.
You don't see him going crazy in the cockpit. What I see is exhale, relief.
Great job, boys. Great job.
He wins the Gallagher Grand Prix, and Michael Andretti says, whew,
about time.
Finally.
About time.
Yeah, relief from that man as well. Been a tough year so far for this squad, but that was a great drive. Shame Colton Herta wasn't up there with him. It could have been a podium 2 times over for this Andretti Autosport squad, but great for Christian Lundgaard to get his first career podium at the track he made his debut at, and Will Power rounds it out.
How about this? What is the feeling of finally getting it done? 49 races, June 23rd, 2019. That was the last time you got to celebrate one of these. How good does it feel to be back in victory lane?
It's a relief, man. It's been so many things for so long, and I do feel for Colton, I do, but I'm happy. Thankfully something came our way, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Andretti Autosport and their continued belief in Napa Auto Parts and Auto Nation. I'm so happy to drive pink, and the Honda Power. Everything was. There's just been so much belief for so long, and it's nice to finally accomplish it.
You're obviously switching teams next year to finish this year out and get a win with this group, this 27 team. Does that add a little extra specialness to this victory?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's still 5 races to go, a lot of really good tracks for us, but to kind of come back at Indianapolis at home is pretty amazing.
You said all weekend that your race pace was, you thought, the best of anybody else here. Is that how you felt in the race? Did you feel like you were going to be good enough to go up there and race Colton if he didn't have problems?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was definitely strong. Obviously, we have pretty much the same race car, so it would have been interesting. I don't want to take anything away from what he did from 9th to get to that position was incredible. But it was the 27th turn, so that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alexander Rossi, he's back in victory lane at Indianapolis.